All right. Good evening, everyone. I've started our record so that we'll be able to have something to look out to or look out for later. So you are all highly welcome to today's Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. So I'm glad that we made it to another week. So this is Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop, where like-minded health and safety professionals, we gather virtually every week to discuss relevant health and safety topics. So just like every other week, today we are going to discuss management of stress at workplace. So a lot of things are happening these days, and it's resulting to stress. So we need to keep reminding ourselves on better ways to manage stress and how to avert incidents resulting from poor stress management. So this is one of the reasons why we chose this topic to refresh it again. We've had this topic sometime last year, but it's a good topic that we have to discuss it again to ensure that we still have our minds intact. Okay, so we know our procedure. We'll start with a brief presentation. After that presentation, then we'll be able to have our individual contributions and discussions. So, Mr. Stephen, are you?
Okay, yeah, give me access to share.
Okay, you have access now, so I'll stop sharing.
Okay. Sorry guys, I will not be showing my face as we proceed because I would just like to go off the screen for one or two reasons, that is not too convenient for me at the moment. So, but I will just communicate. The important thing is the message. The message is going to be passed across, which I believe is more relevant, and also the slide that will be presented. So just bear with me on that. So as we proceed, and also we should, before we go into this topic, we should bear at the back of our mind that globally, the month of April is a stress awareness month globally, which is being, will I say, celebrated or try to create an awareness related to stress-related issues, and just like Mr. Johnson have said, we've discussed this topic sometime last year, and I thank God it's also correlating with this same year month related to stress. So without wasting our time, at least for some of us who are still here, who were here last year, would have been familiar with one or two things which we're going to be talking about. And what is stress, because we need to understand how stress is being generated within our body as a human, and what are the health implications. When people are talking about stress awareness, it means it has an implication to our health, whether physical or mentally. So that is why they've been an advocacy for awareness and all that. So basically, I would just like to emphasize that stress is the body automatic response, to any physical or mental demand placed on it. It's an automatic response. Also, this automatic response rather is also called the flight or fright response mechanism. For your body to undergo stress, something must have triggered it. So, and there's a way the body responds to stress most of the time. So, and there are some chemical substances, within our body. For those of us who did biology at our elementary level, we should be, or we might have heard about what we call adrenaline and cortisol. These are very vital chemical compound of substances, or in some cases they call them most commonly hormone. So they naturally produce within our body system in response to stress, because that is how God has designed us as human. Even animals, naturally they respond to all these things when there's stress, because the body has to respond, at some point in time. Otherwise, the system will just collapse automatically. So the way it works is that um, the way this hormone generally is designed to deal with a stressful situation, by increasing our heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar level. Because at that point, when the blood pressure increase, so there's what we call dilatation, the blood vessel will expand. So that's why you see sometimes when there's an action, when you try to threaten some persons or some animals when they want to fight, you see that the air, in their body will begin to rise. So a lot of things, even when you get angry, you see that a lot of things within your system will begin to pop in. Adrenaline is being secreted. A lot of things will be hot. So the anger, that is why in some school of thought to say is an anger hormone, because those hormones were associated to such um, stressful level within the body. So we'll just go forward by making us understand some type of stress that exists. We have some level of stress, like you have the acute, the chronic, and also the episodic, acute episodic stress. Now, for the acute stress, is any stress you suffer as an individual for a short period of time. It doesn't last. It's just it happens occasionally. Sometimes when you're in a traffic jam, when you have argument with your colleagues or friends or family member, sometimes criticism from your boss and all that. So all those things, you can get this, especially through the workplace. So they are just like an acute type. They just come within a short period of time, and it goes off. So this might not necessarily have a kind of any medical implication within any individual. Then we have an acute episodic stress. When we say episodic, it become an episode. You are experiencing the acute stress more often or frequently. So once that happens, for example, when you are given a work deadline, you are often given a workload, that exceed what you can be able to do within a day. So, and it keeps happening, several times within the weeks, within the month. So at that point, one will be experiencing this episode of acute stress, but then it's not chronic. But at the level of chronic, this stress that is persistent, is prolonged, as a result of some certain situation. It could be also work deadline for a long period of time. They are giving you a lot of work to do that is beyond your capacity. Sometimes maybe you are out of job. This might make you start thinking, this can generate stress. There are also some physical and mental abuse which people face, domestic violence, all those kind of things can cause chronic stress to an individual. Like last week, we talked about substances abuse. Those who are exposed to abuse of substances are also prone to chronic stress, family conflicts, a lot of issues that we all know that once we have been exposed to such, this can generate stress within our system. And at the level, I said it last year sometime, that not that stress is really bad. It's just like sometimes we'll talk about risk. There are some risks that comes with opportunities. So at some level of stress, based on research, they found out that there a level of stress which you can be able to, as an individual, you can perform better at work. Okay, because the truth is that if you are idle, you cannot get optimum performance at work. You need to get engaged. You need to get that little bit of stress to be able to perform or have an optimal performance within your workplace. But it is when it goes beyond threshold that it becomes issues. Like what I have on my slide here, we have what we call the hypostress. This is the low level stress. Yeah, at this level, you cannot have productivity. That is the reality, but we have what we call the eustress. This is a good stress level where you can attain a good performance, in terms of job delivery and all that. We have the hyper stress. This is high stress level, which is not advisable. Then we have the distress, which is the bad stress level. This is like the climax. From the high stress level to the distress level is something that it begins to affect our performance. Because if you look at the graph, you see that once you have a optimal performance at a point, when the stress increase, when you see the graph, as the stress is increasing, you get to a level you have an optimal performance. When it continue to increase, you see your performance will begin to drop. It will even get to zero. So this is just a typical example of what I'm trying to explain. So we should not also get it twisted that stress at some certain level, it has a good results, in terms of those who carry out work activity. Now, like I said earlier, there are things that activated stress, like stressors, I call stressors, situation, activity, relationship. I've said something like that earlier, that causes trauma to one physical, emotional, and physiological self or well-being. So anything at all that can activate all these things I've said within the human system, they are just all called and classified as stressor. Okay, the workload itself is a stressor. Okay, domestic violence is a stressor. Being abused, drug abuse is a stressor. Those things can activate stress within your system. So all those things they are just different form of stressor. So now, in related to some of these stressors, if I just want to make pinpoint some of them, like work in our workplace, just like I mentioned earlier, when you are giving much workload, this can generate stress, major injury, ill health that can happen to an individual. It could be from your home, it could be from your workplace. These also are stress. So we have the living situation. When you don't have a good conducive place to live, you are just stressing yourself to manage. All this can lead to stress. Financial issues is also a stressor. Relationship also is a stressor. Environment you find yourself, there are some environments that are not too conducive. Okay, so when you find yourself in such kind of environment, there's no light, there's no good road, you have to be in the traffic when you're coming from work. So many things. Unemployment, like I've said earlier, legal issue, you might be battling some legal issue, you might have some challenges when it comes to your academics and all that. So all those things can come together to activate stress within our body. There are many, these lists are endless, but just for the purpose of this presentation, I just have to limit myself and because of time. So we should be familiar with the implication, the health implication to stress. Sometimes it could generate to a digestive issues. You can have a constipation, can have bloated tummy. It could lead to weight gain or weight loss, depending on which angle it's coming. It can lead to what we call it can cause hypertension. It can cause cardiovascular disease. It can lead to type 2 diabetes, which is the non-hereditary type. It has been associated with some skin related issues, hair loss, muscular pain and tension. It also weakens the immune system when you are stressed, and also lead to irritability. And to an extreme level, it could lead to stroke. It causes anxiety, it causes depression, it causes infertility, it causes also insomnia, difficulty to sleep, and also to an extent, it could lead to cancer. Because when you are stressed, your body is secreting some hormones that are not, naturally, they are not supposed to be secreted. And once those hormones are much in your body, they begin to activate some abnormal cells, thereby leading to some cancerous growth and all that within the body system. So I would just want to focus on managing this stress, okay? Because sometimes there are some techniques we could use, like body relaxation exercise, is very, very good. Breathing techniques, guided imaginary, like a kind of visualize some, you just be imagining a lot of things. You have to get some visualization about some good things that are happening, at a relaxed body condition. So all those things can help you to withdraw or reduce stress within your body. It's also important to eat good food, healthy diet. Mindful eating is very, very important as a stress management techniques. We also encourage on physical exercise. One can engage in yoga, workout routine. So all this helps to burn out, to burn out stress or to reduce stress, within an individual. So meditation also is also encouraging as a techniques. Also counseling, you need to speak to some therapists, some life coach, some people that can, give you a good counseling guidelines to be able to reduce stress. And also you have to select an hobby, attend some kind of, you can go into sports, different kind of thing, fun activity, things that make you happy. Just try to engage on things that make you happy. I think this can help to reduce stress within our system. And other helpful tips, we have to change our perception and expectation. Sometimes it's, our perception and expectation also allows stress to remain within our body. So in terms of job, when it has to do with our job, our tasks, it is advisable for us to have a frequent kind of break within such job or tasks, to be able to manage different part of our job activity. So we have to set a kind of reasonable and realistic goals for ourselves. We have to avoid procrastinating some issues, some stuff like that. So, and also set boundaries. We don't just deal with everything that comes to us, because those things will become challenges to us. So at the end of the day, we might not be able to manage the stress. So we have to set boundaries. We need to learn when to say no. We cannot go beyond this. Okay, so that's very, very important. And also, we should not compromise our values and our belief. We should also schedule time for ourselves. It's very important. And also, any drink that contains caffeine, it's not advisable to take it because it's also enhance and stimulate stress. So some benefit of stress management is that it makes you get physically fit, physically better, more energy and stamina. Also, it stabilizes you emotionally with a positive attitude. It makes individual to be hopeful and also happier. And also with the ability to focus and improve in whatever we do or whatever we are doing. So our brain fire electrical waves at 14 or more cycles a second. So it is better we have a relaxation, mechanism, like I've mentioned earlier, so that once this relaxes our brain, it helps us to kill and reduce stress within our body. Okay, so, and also there are some basic applications which we can also find ourselves with, that can make us engage in different kind of way of reducing stress. Like we have the mindfulness app, we have the calm, meditate, sleep, relax app, we have the OM Vena meditation for everyone. So we have the complete relaxation guided meditation for a happy and stress-free life. So these are applications that are available within the Android and iOS users. So to manage these things as an individual, we can just engage with all those things. Just like the way we go to our WhatsApp or our Facebook, dealing with other apps, we can use this also as a means to manage our stress level. I would just say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would just want to end this discussion at this level. So, Mr. Johnson, you have to pick up from here. Thank you very much. And also, you guys will excuse me for a very few minutes. I'll be back soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen, for that wonderful presentation. So we are happy with that. And I'll just add few points from where Mr. Stephen stops. Now, We might be, I want us to just in a few minutes focus on work-related stress. And in my own layman's definition, I say that is the type of stress that people feel because of their job or occupation. So it occurs when the work demand and pressures are not matched to an individual's knowledge or ability, challenging their ability to cope. So in this situation, for instance, if you can remember when you started this occupation, when you started your job newly, when you were first introduced as a safety professional at site, you still remember how you felt. You still remember how eager you were to learn and how you were so stressed in case you make mistakes. So this is actually what happens in a situation whereby someone is matched to a job that he's not qualified to do or he doesn't have the experience to do yet. So why am I bringing up this? Because in our workplace as health and safety professionals, we'll be meeting different levels of people, different people. Some people claimed the type of experience that they don't have. So within them, they are feeling stress. This stress is ongoing within them. So our ability to understand that there is a tendency of people being stressed and being at the same time in the workplace. So for us to understand this will help us in a way of managing this stress and ensuring that everyone's health issue is taken care of. So there are four major cardinal points or four major dimensions of workplace stress. Like Stephen have talked about hyper stress. So I'll start with hyper stress. This is in a situation whereby the employees are not able to manage their work as demands of the job is higher than what they can manage. So in this type of situation, we have what we call overstress or hyperstress. So the job role is too much or is higher than what the person can manage. So he has hyperstress. In another form, we have the one we call understress or hypostress. So in this situation, the workload is very low. It's very below what the person is capable of doing. So you find him lazing around, you find him thinking about where you go from here. So that is another type of stress that we'll be witnessing or we should look out for at the workplace. Then there is what we know as a desire stress. Mr. Stephen had talked about this. This is the level of stress when work is difficult and challenging, and it also develops motivation. At this particular level, the stress is not negative. It helps you to work at the optimal level. So the other one is under stress or distress. So in this situation, the work demands make the employee feel tired and frustrated. So there are a lot of factors that can be in this category, whereby the work is very tiring. The person, maybe he works maybe 7 days in a week and no rest periods. And the supervisor has refused to give the workers sufficient rest, or during the break time, some of the workers are taken back to the site to continue their job. So in this type of situation, they will fall under this stress situation. So let's look at some of the consequences of workplace stress, because everything that happens, there are consequences to them. So the first one is the work performance. Work performance will drop because when people are stressed, there will be high rate of errors. For instance, somebody that is starting the job newly and he's not experienced, he doesn't have the capability to do that job. So our ability to identify this type of people will help to reduce the workplace incident. If we're able to identify people, especially, let's say, young workers, people who are inexperienced, and people who are too tired to do the job. So if we're able to identify this type of people and segregate them, maybe put them in a coaching category or put mentors ahead of them, then this will help us to reduce incident. So work performance will definitely drop if people are stressed at work. The other one is increase in accidents. So because of these errors, improper job, people doing the job anyhow in order to just have time to rest. So this will increase accidents in the workplace. The other one, there will be increase in absenteeism. People will start missing work, and indirectly it will cost the organization a lot of funds or a lot of money. Then the other problem is complaints. There will be high rate of complaints. There will be high rate of incidents. There will be high rate of turnover. People will start leaving the job because they are stressed. Nobody wants to continue to be stressed. These are some of the consequences that will be emanating from people being stressed at work. The other consequences is you will see that there will be increase in overtime, especially if people start dropping out. If there is high rate of turnover, then you need to meet up the target. Then you start giving the workers overtime. And giving them overtime will also lead them to feel stress. And some of them in the process will also drop out or they fall ill. So the cycle continues because the stress is not well managed, then the cycle continues. The other one, it will affect personal life. People will not have time with their families. People will not be able to take breaks. People will not be able to eat healthy. People won't sleep very well because they have a lot of job to do, because the stress is not properly managed in the workplace, then giving some people a lot of jobs, and then it will affect their personal life. So these are some of the consequences that we all know that stress brings on employees and individuals. So our role as health and safety professionals is not just to look out for hazards, physical hazard, but we should also look out for this type of mental or health hazards, because they will also have a role to play in increase in incidents in the workplace. So if if stress is not properly managed, then we should be looking out for high rate of incident also. Then the other important management factors or ways to manage stress in the workplace, the importance of managing stress, one is to increase productivity. The other one is employee retention. Just like we said that if the workers are stressed, there will be high turnover. So in order to retain employees or workers, we should be able to ensure that they are properly managed, there's a workload are properly managed, nobody is stressed out. We give them enough time to rest, give them enough time to have personal life. So this will help in employee retention. And retaining qualified and experienced employees will also help to reduce incidents, because most of the incidents start with inexperienced and unqualified workers. Okay, then strong organizational culture. This is another important reason for managing stress at the workplace. People will feel healthier. There will be healthier workplace. People will have positive mindsets, and productivity will increase at the later on. Then there will be reduction in accidents and incidents, just like we have said. So controlling stress in the workplace, Mr. Stephen has talked more about individual controls or individual factors, what we can do individually to help manage our stress. But through management support, like as health and safety professionals, these are some of the ideas that we should be selling to the management, how they can be supportive in managing stress in the workplace. And this will indirectly or directly affect the productivity in the workplace and help the workers remain healthy. So what are the problems that leads to stress, and what are the type of solutions that we can be looking into? First one is bullying at workplace, or sexual harassment, or vicious company policies. So what are the solutions? The management should provide proper training, interpersonal trainings, and anti-harassment policies should be put in place in the workplace. So this will let the employees, especially new employees, know what is the policy in the workplace, and anybody who goes, who defaults in this policy takes the penalty. So what are the other problems is fear of job loss or self-doubt about learning new skills. So these are the problems that can lead to stress. Then what is the solution? Communicate and provide support to the team. So let there be team building. The management should encourage team building, and the management should communicate effectively. If there is need to downsize the workers, it should not come as a surprise, or it should not be something that people should be afraid of. So there should be proper communication, as that when there is need for downsizing, people's mental and emotional should be properly built up and properly supported. Then culture, they blame culture and long working hours. So if this can cause stress, these are also part of the stressors. So what is the solution? The solution is to give the employees platform to post their ideas, allow the employees to contribute to the idea building of the organization. Okay, so avoid long working hours. Blame culture. Let there be proper incident investigation instead of just apportioning blames and trying to cut short the incident investigation procedure in order to reduce costs or all those things. So there should be proper investigation, and there should be blame should not be there. We should have a mindset of investigating incidents just to get to the root cause and prevent reoccurrence, and not to apportion blames. Then job demands. Job demand is another factor that could trigger stress. Boring jobs or random interruptions at jobs or high demands of jobs. So what are the solutions that the management should be bringing on board? The management should employ workers who match the job criteria, not just based on people who can accept low salary, but there should be proper employment criteria, employ people who are qualified for the job, so that people will not feel stress at the job. Proper training. People should be properly trained. There should be retraining, refresher training, often refresher training, so that the job demand will be properly met. So these are some of the solutions that the management should bring on board. And we health and safety professionals, we can also help in our own way to ensure that we look out for not just physical hazards, also we should be looking out for physical and emotional stressors. And I think I know we have other contributions to make, so I will stop my discussion from here and allow us to make our contributions. All right, so the floor is open now, so we can go ahead and contribute. Are you people there?
We are here.
Okay. You don't go the chop. Okay, let's have a few contributions before we close for the day.
Okay, I think a quick one. It's a very good topic that we are refreshing again. Management of stress at the workplace has a major role also to be played by top management by allotting adequate time for rest. There is something I witnessed in the Middle East. Like when I was in Iraq, I want to do some cross-reference. Project management has a very good time being put in place for rest. Like we have what is called tea time, and this tea time was made available for all employees on site. But if I want to reference it to what I'm seeing here in Saudi, in my current company, I think Sami can bear me witness, there is nothing like what we call tea time. I can also remember when I was in Iraq, during the summer period, management made an approval for rest time of everyone. Okay, our break is approximately close to 3 hours because we resume on time and have good long time break, which enable almost everybody to have adequate rest. So when they return back to site, you see the energy be put to the work. But here, I notice even where we are right now, the break allotted for some persons is 30 minutes. 30 minutes, even during the summer, you see some just 1 hour. So I begin to imagine, but on the other way around, there is a way we control the work system to ensure people has a good working schedule to work in only in shaded areas, not in open area where we have more direct sunlight, where they might have more impact on their health situation. But the timing system, it also goes a long way for management to draw up a plan. How effective the people working, the employees working on site, we take time to have good time for break. I know every company is trying to look at the production and time for money be spent. But just as we say, stress management, management has a very key role to play in managing stress of its employer as well, so that at the end, they will get more productivity being given back. Because if you put all of them in a tight corner, trying to think of the other way around that this is the only way you will make more productivity, you only lost in all the necessary time. Some will just be there playing around. They are tired, but because they have no authority of their own, they cannot say a word. And the supervisors cannot also say a word. So if they are just been working with fear, because most of us, yes, the approach for management, we create this fear because that is where you're getting your daily bread. So even for you to manage your stress in the work environment, it becomes so difficult. So management for me has a major role to play so that at the end, the stress management itself could be effectively achieved. This is what I think from my own end, because you've said all the necessary point on how we can manage the stress on individual at the workplace.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. That was a very wonderful contribution. You see, over here also, everyone is so scared of, there's in construction industry, there's category of supervisors called foreman. So the workers are so scared of these guys that they are even the main root cause of stress to them. So they have the type of power that they have, that they are the ones that will allocate overtime. They are the ones that can cut your overtime. They are the ones that can even cut your time in case you are not giving them exactly what they want. So we should look out for these guys in the workplace and try as much as possible to ensure that they understand that there is something called stress and people can get mentally ill as a result of unmanaged stress. So I focus on these guys. Whenever we have committee meetings or productive meetings, I focus on the foremen. They are the ones that are directly in charge of these workers and they give them a lot of stress. So we should also look out for these guys and try as much as possible to ensure that they understand these stress management mechanisms and to reduce stress on the workers. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any other contribution?
Hello.
Hello, Engineer Tayab.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. So here are the little things we are now discussing about. The rest of the thing you have already discussed. So this part of the stress management at the workplace, anxiety is most stressful when we feel uneasy, such as worry or fear that can be mild or severe. So anxiety is sometimes linked to panic disorder and post PTSD caused by exposure to a traumatic event and depressions. So, if we are consistently focused on same thing multiple times, then we can feel such kind of anxiety at the workplace. And also depression linked towards the stress management, feelings of stress and despair sometimes when we are loaded with burden of things. So we feel depressed. Do you hear me, Mr. Johnson? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the definition. The symptoms of the depressions can be vary on the task to task and jobs to job and the workplace to workplace. So usually we found low mood and dispirited linked to the stress and depression. So the next one is work-related stress. Mostly the stress, what is called the stress? The adverse reaction that people have to excessive pressure of other demands placed upon them. That has physical health effects like as a psychological and physical and behavioral. Can lead to serious ill health if will be prolonged with such kind of jobs, hectic jobs. So work-related stresses have distinguished in 3 steps and 3 types and categories: psychological, physical, and behavioral. So in physical, anxiety and low self-esteem and depression, that kind of things can be brought from the worker. And in the physical point of view, sweating, fast heartbeat and high blood pressure and skin rashes and headache and disease. And in behavioral, most usually that is most oftenly occur at the workplace: sleeplessness, poor concentration, poor decision making, mood swings and irritability, and alcohol consumptions, drug misuse and absence from the work. So that is a few little contribution from my side towards the stress management. Further, also you can see causes of the stress management and stresses: excessive demands of work and lack of control over the work. These are the factors which are being caused the mental health and irritations and lack of focus on the workplace of assigned tasks. So these must be changed according to the time to time and job to job requirement and workload requirements. So if we discuss about the control measure about the stress management, respect to the physiological stress control measures, these are the 6 causes of the risk assessment when we are doing demands, control, sport, relationship, and role change. And further, if we discuss about the control measures, stress control measures in detail: demands, reasonable demands, sufficient sources must be signed, control, given as much control as possible, sport, information, instructions, trainings, these are all the things which we should implement it for the control measure point of view, in order to control the stress at the workplace. And also further, if we will discuss more, these are the things. And one thing is more about, we are not wrong, yes. Self-management and self-awareness are the most relevant. And also, if we will discuss about the definition of the stress management, emotions playing very crucial role in implementing and control measures and managing the stresses at the workplace. If we will discuss what is emotion, anyone can become angry. That is very much easy. But to be angry with the right person to the right degree at the right time for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not easy. So emotions are very much important and playing a vital role of our daily life as well as at the workplace. So emotional intelligence is also playing vital role associated with the emotions management and stress management. So the capacity for recognizing our own feeling and those of others, for motivating ourselves and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationship. So this is called the emotional intelligence. So why we are discussing here emotional intelligence? The reason is that IQ and IQ, intelligent quotient and emotional quotient and are very much important in governing our daily life, interpersonal relationship, and workload towards the assigned tasks. There is growing body of research finding that scientifically demonstrate that emotional intelligence predict how well we perform at home, school, and in the workplace. So this quotation are founded by the Professor Rowan Baran, and also why emotional intelligence, they have a lot of researches on this topic, emotional and intelligence, how it can play a vital role for decision making at the workplace and how it can manage the stress management at the workplace. So these are the researcher. And also understanding the emotions. Emotions basically are the feelings we generally underestimate the significance of emotions in our lives. All of our activities are being affected by our emotions, like as eating, sleeping, working, running, whatsoever you can think are affected by our daily activities. All of our decisions are governed by emotions. Here are the examples. Being emotionally intelligent means handling our own and other feelings smartly. So this is a very thorough topic, and right now we are concluding, and this is last statements about my side for stress management point of view. Beware, emotions are contagious. So it is extremely critical that we learn to understand and manage our emotions. So that is, I will conclude it now. We have to understand and manage our emotions very critically, extremely critically. So that is all about from my side today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Tayab. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. So we appreciate, and I'm sure we've all learned a lot today. So without wasting much of our time, so I need to round off so that we'll not spend more than 1 hour. So next week, Thursday, we have another interesting topic. I will communicate to us. But if you have a topic you want to discuss with us, you can also reach out to me so that we'll use it to, we'll send it across to others. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, James. Sir Francis, thank you very much. Engineer Tayab, thank you. Pascal, thank you very much for showing up. And next week, we'll have another session. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. If you need the certificate, just send me a message.